So they would intentionally say something they tell the
I'm also very proud to announce that this year, the team once again has made a very bold decision.
top of that, last year we introduced a driverless department to our team. This driverless department was tasked with converting our 2019 race car into a fully autonomous race car. This went on to complete the first ever fully driverless lap at a competition in the United States last May. Our recent successes as a team would not be possible without over 20 years of work going into this team by all the members who have come through. So I'd like to take this moment now to acknowledge and appreciate our alumni who have set this team up for success throughout our history. To carry on the tradition of setting the team up for success, this year we chose to make one of our biggest architectural changes ever. One thing that all our cars since 2002 have had in common is they have been a steel tube space frame chassis. This year, for the first time ever, we have made our car out of full carbon fiber, pushing the boundaries of what's possible and being able to set us up to make a lighter and faster race car than we ever could have imagined. So, today it is my pleasure to be unveiling that first ever carbon fiber chassis in our 2024 race car, 24E, as well as our most advanced autonomous car yet, 22A. But before I can do that, there are a number of people that I would like to thank. Firstly, our faculty. Every single student in Carnegie Mellon Racing is a full-time student taking on a full course load. So without the support of all our professors, all our faculty, helping us with office hours, giving us late days so we can continue to work on getting our cars ready, and even rearranging the entire final schedule so that we can compete in a few weeks, this would not be possible. So thank you to our faculty. Beyond that, we have one of the most supportive university administrations out of any team that we compete against. So I'd like to take a moment to recognize some of the most important people in making it possible to do what we do. The first of which is SLICE. SLICE manage all the student organizations on campus, and they are there to support us with our financials, keeping our workshops safe, and being there to answer any questions we have throughout the year. So thank you to SLICE. I would also like to thank our advisor, Professor Satbir Singh, for his support, as well as the College of Engineering and TechSpark. And last but not least, student government. We have received a massive amount of support from the Undergraduate Student Senate, the Graduate Student Assembly, and the Joint Funding Committee, supporting and funding us throughout our history. So thank you to the student government for supporting this club. Moving on from there are another group of people that this car would not be possible without. Our sponsors help us turn our dreams and our vision for a race car into the reality that you will see here today. So firstly, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge our gold sponsors. Who are our biggest contributors here at Carnegie Mellon Racing. I'd also like to acknowledge our silver sponsors. And finally, could we all have a round of applause for our gold, silver, and finally our bronze sponsors. There is another group of people that go under-recognized by us as college students, and they are our families. So I'd like to thank every single family member who is here today and all those watching on from afar for allowing your children to pursue their dreams and passions here at CMU. So thank you to all the family members watching on today. When people ask me what makes our team successful, it is not just all these great supporters we have, but it is the students who actually come and design and build our race cars. Our team is split into 6 departments: structures, energetics, driverless, finance, race operations, and marketing and outreach. Each of these departments is split into sub-teams. Each of these departments also has a VP leading them. These VPs, along with our 2 co-directors of manufacturing, serve as our executive board. This executive board is the backbone of the team and are responsible for everything that we are able to achieve each year. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to invite our 2024 executive board out onto stage to introduce themselves and their departments.
Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Kang and I'm a senior in mechanical engineering. As the VP of Structures is responsible for everything mechanical on the car. My role is to oversee the design and the testing of these systems and to ensure that we are safe and prepared to drive at competition.
My name is Varun Rajesh and I'm a junior in electrical and computer engineering. The energetics team is responsible for all of the electrical systems on our race car, and it's my role as a VP of energetics to ensure that we bring a safe and reliable car to competition.
Hi everyone, my name is Ankit Khandelwal. I'm a junior in electrical and computer engineering, and I'm this year's VP of Driverless. Driverless is responsible not just for pushing the boundaries of autonomous technology, but also for pioneering a driverless competition here in North America.
Hi everyone, I'm Daniel Tensura, and I'm a sophomore in computer science. This year I've had the opportunity to be the Vice President of Finance, and in that role I'm in charge of all the financial operations of the team. I've been able to secure funding from sponsors and the university, and then use those funds as efficiently as possible to build our 2 most expensive cars in history.
Hey everyone, my name is Tony, and I'm a senior studying business. And this year, I'm the VP of Race Operations. Race Operations is the logistical center of the team. We are in charge of leading the team when we bring our race cars to the racetrack. And we organize things like the testing and tuning of our car, we analyze the data that we get from the cars, and we organize the logistics of events like competitions.
Hi, I'm Joshua Sang, a sophomore in mechanical engineering.
And I'm Kenji Espinoza, first year of mechanical engineering. And together, as directors of manufacturing, we are in charge of taking the car from conceptual design all the way through to a final product during manufacturing season.
I would also like to introduce Pravir Das, our VP of Marketing and Outreach. You may have heard him in the video earlier today. He is responsible for all recruitment and our internal and external communication as a team. And he is up in the booth making today possible. So without further ado, it is now time to unveil our 2024 championship title competitor, 24E, and our most advanced autonomous race car ever, 22A.
This year, we changed everything.
Next year will be our first car with a fully carbon fiber monocoque. We'll have a car faster than what we ever thought possible.
Tens of thousands of hours have gone into making this, so I'm so glad that each and every one of you is here to celebrate the fact that we've completed it. and welcome to the team that has built these two race cars. I would now like to invite up Jacob to talk through the engineering design process through 24E.
Alright, thanks Trent. The very first thing that I'd like to do is to first thank and recognize all the Structures captains. Without these people, making the car would not be possible. Structures is a huge team of over 50 members, and these people are the ones leading the charge at the front, making sure that every single part of the car is completed to a high standard. So what do we do in the year? The answer is we actually start last spring, and the first thing that we do is to mastermind the key architectural decisions and set goals for the rest of the year. During the summer, a lot of members are doing summer learning, and others are starting to design the most interdependent systems of the car. And then by the time fall rolls around, design season is in full swing, and we also have the task of onboarding the dozens of new members who are really interested in joining what this team has to offer. During the winter, we're all kept very busy manufacturing the car, because for every part that we design, we also build everything in-house. So our mills and lathes are very busy doing this. And then finally, in the final few weeks of spring, we get the chance to take our car to the test track. So that way we can tune, validate, and get data for the car to ensure that we are as prepared as possible for competition. So every year, what Structures does is we have a couple of goals. And these goals allow us to kind of like have some guiding principles to keep in the back of our minds. And for this year, the first goal that we have is to go to competition with CMR's first ever monocoque race car. The second goal is to raise the ceiling of optimization. And the reason for this is that by taking on technical risk this year, we basically learn what we did well and what we can do better for next year to make next year's car even lighter and faster. And then finally, our third goal is, from the fact that we have so many new designs and unproven manufacturing processes, what we really wanted this year was to build up a strong base of knowledge in our younger and newer generation of CMR members to set them up for future success. So, as Trent mentioned, moving to monocoque was a big decision. The whole reason why we did this is to open up the possibilities for a lighter and thus faster race car. Monocoque started from basically zero last year, and everything in our design process changed as a result of that. And the monocoque team this year faced a lot of challenges, but they persevered and stuck through it. And now, as you can see, we have a race car. And so we really want to share the story of how this was possible. And so to do that, I'd like to invite up to the stage our very own monocoque captain, James Lynn.
Hello, my name is James Lynn. I'm a sophomore mechanical engineer, and I'm the monocoque chassis captain. Monocoque started with the 23E season, in which our previous captain for special projects, Tate, set out a goal to build a young and dedicated team of engineers who throughout the year tested out many different composite techniques to research the viability of a 24E monocoque chassis. In that spring, we made the decision that 24E was going to be our first carbon fiber monocoque chassis. And here are the system leads that made this year possible. The journey started right at the beginning of summer with us going full force on a huge research efforts to learn as much as we physically can about composites and how to build a monocoque from the ground up. As the school year started, we ran into a lot of design challenges. We had a very aggressive timeline, setting our goal to get the chassis to our FMS workshop by February 25th, which gave us 6 months to design, manufacture, and work out any errors. One of the biggest challenges was having to come up with a completely new design approach. Going from a steel tube space frame chassis to a single body monocoque required new CAD structures, new system mounting solutions, new manufacturing constraints, and also a new set of competitive rules. It was with countless hours and many sacrifices that we were able to create the monocoque and have the success for 24E, as you can see on stage. And this is just the first step to our journey. I'm confident that as the years go on, there will continue to be confident people and passionate people to hold up the team and make future optimizations that will push monocoque to higher and higher limits. And with that, I'll hand it back to Jacob to talk about the rest of the car.
So what we'd like to do right now is to show off some of the newest technical features of 24E. And actually, I'm going to give it back to James because as the chassis design lead, James should be the one talking about the chassis.
All right, fun facts about the monocoque. We have 3 unique carbon fiber weaves in our schedule design and 199 mounting point inserts, as well as the part being a monolithic vacuum-assisted resin infusion part. And now back to Jacob.
Thanks, James. Yeah, so that was pretty cool, right? So is this. So this is our accumulator, or battery pack, and it's actually the single most complex system on the car. It has over 1,500 individual components, and 140 of these alone are the battery cells. So new for this year is the fact that for the first time in over 10 years, CMAR has switched from cylindrical battery cells to flat pouch cells. These are admittedly a lot harder to package and use, but the reason why we did this is to unlock a higher power density and also have a really lightweight cooling system, which is nice. And then finally, in our battery pack this year, we have the highest percentage of structural 3D printing ever, allowing us to further optimize the mass of the system. Next, our powertrain is an all-wheel drive in-wheel hub motor architecture. And this year was a full repackage. What we have is lighter carbon fiber wheels, a smaller diameter tires, a redesigned gear set, and an overall more compact package that let us reduce the unsprung weight by 16%. And then finally, our aerodynamics package this year was designed from the outset so that the front, side, and rear aero work together and synergize to produce the most total downforce. And what's new for this year, and what's really cool, is that we use ground effect extensively for the first time, as you can see from the large side diffuser tunnels running along the left and right sides of the car. So I wish I could tell you more, but this is only, for the sake of time, this is only a small fraction of the engineering that went into this car. And to tell you the story of how we took this car from CAD into a reality, I'll now hand it over to our 2 co-directors of manufacturing, Josh and Kenji.
Thank you, Jacob. The manufacturing of our monocoque started all the way back in the summer of 2023, when Kathy, our monocoque manufacturing lead, took the summer off and stayed at CMU to do research on basically carbon fiber infusions. After dozens of test panels, we were finally able to optimize the foam core and the carbon fiber schedule to make it lighter and stronger. Rolling into the fall, we made our first ever test monocoque. This was a half-size scaled-down version of the actual monocoque, and even though it does look quite put together and not too well done in this picture, this is a very much needed first step to validate our design processes, our infusion processes, and also just clean up all the messes we made. And after that, we spent 2 long months preparing for the final infusion. This culminated into a 17-hour work session, starting from 8 a.m. all the way to 1 a.m. the next day, which was all done during finals week before winter break. This was only possible with everyone's help, and at the end of it, we got our first ever carbon fiber monocoque chassis. However, when we demolded this chassis, we were unsatisfied with the results, as it did not meet the high expectations we set up at the start of the year. So we made the very difficult, but ultimately correct decision to remake the monocoque from scratch. So this started off a very tight timeline of 4 weeks, right after a Christmas break, when everyone came back to remake monocoque 2. We took the lessons learned from monocoque 1 and basically made monocoque 2 into a sharper and cleaner monocoque. And that serves as the base of our 24E race car. Don't worry, throughout this entire process, we made sure to use all the correct PPE so that all of our members will have functional lungs at the end of their CMR careers. After the whole chassis was infused, we had a very formal procession that transported the entire chassis to our other workshop, FMS. So everyone's in suits and happy, and this marked a very major milestone for our team this year.
I'm going to hand it off to Kenji now to explain the manufacturing processes of the other parts on the car.
Thanks, Josh. So, while the monocoque is the single biggest part of the car, and probably the most complex to manufacture, before our car is even capable of rolling, there are thousands of other nuts, bolts, brackets, bearings, gears, and so on that need to be perfectly assembled together to make anything that possible. And so that's why, starting in late December, every single member of Structures is tasked with transforming the parts that they've been designing for 2 months on the computer and making them something they can hold in their hands. Out of all the numerous parts we manufacture in-house each year, all of them must either be grinded, welded, machined, or perhaps printed. And at the end of the short 3 months, we're left with what used to be a pile of raw materials turned into a relatively refined race car. This is easier said than done. Countless late nights and even more all-nighters prove that it really does take a lot of hours doing a car like this. I can say from experience that walking home at 6 a.m. after a late night in the workshop is fun the first time, but keeping up that pace for multiple weeks is unspeakably hard. So, yeah. And so this is the reason that a lot of people would describe manufacturing season as probably one of the more hellish times to be on CMR. But despite that, it is also, I think, what most vividly brings out part of what I love the most about this team, which is that CMR is a group of engineers who have collectively gone all in on the shared dream of building the fastest electric FSD car in the US. And this car is proof that when we work together, amazing things are possible. Thank you. Now back to Jacob.
Thanks, guys. It really is amazing to see our hard work in a fully functioning race car. Even now, we've been track testing 24E for over a week, and we're continuing to test, tune, and validate the car to maximize the performance that we can extract from it before we go to Formula Hybrid and then Formula Michigan. So honestly, this is my 4th and last year on the team, and it's been a roller coaster, to say the least. And honestly, this team faced a lot of challenges this year, but the team collectively persevered, and it's really amazing to see that, because what this means is that our hard-earned experience will set up the team in the future really well to continue excelling. So it's been an honor, and I'm really proud to say that I got the chance to be a part of this team. So yeah, thank you. So yeah, I hope we've shown you what Structures can do. So it's only my pleasure to introduce our VP of Energetics, Varun.
The Energetics team is responsible for the design, manufacturing, testing, and validation of all the electrical systems on our race car. And what that means is we turn a rolling chassis into a full-fledged driving vehicle. Everything that we've done this year would not have been possible without the technical competency and the leadership capabilities of the Energetics experts. I'm truly privileged to have had the opportunity of working with such a talented group of individuals this year to make this race car and work on great things this year. I'd like to now spend some time and talk a little bit about what a year in Energetics looks like. Our design season actually starts in the spring of last year, where we begin to prototype systems that we would like to implement on this year's car. We then go into the summer and set goals for ourselves and finalize the overall architecture of what our vehicle should look like. We then go into the fall, onboard new members, and finish up the design processes for all the electrical systems that will go on our car. And finally, going further into the fall, we begin manufacturing, fabricating, and assembling all of our electrical systems. With all of that done, we now begin the integration phase of the Energetics team. We hope to leave for winter break with all of our low voltage systems of our car fully integrated together, and then we hope to come back from winter break and begin the integration of our high voltage systems on our car. Then later into the spring, we get all of our systems onto our car, and we have a fully working and driving race car. We then take that vehicle out to the test track, collect data, tune it, and really optimize its performance so that we have the best car to take to competition. With that, I'd I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the goals that the energetics team has set for ourselves this year. Even though we did so well at competition last year, there's always room for improvement. And the three main key principles that we kept this year were we wanted to decrease the packaging size of all the electrical systems on our car. Smaller electrical systems means we can optimize the design and mass of our car to make it as fast as possible. Then we wanted to improve the reliability of our race car. With all the technical challenges that we've taken on this year, the amount of testing time that we had was very minimal. And so we needed to ensure that every single time we took the car out to test, it would drive and we'd be able to optimize it as much as possible. And finally, the last thing we wanted to work on this year was to expand our data acquisition capabilities. Everything we do on this team starts and ends with the data. With data, we're able to make well-informed decisions on how well our car is currently performing, as well as what are the future improvements that we should be making to it. And with that, I'd like to now spend some time and talk about some of the key technical projects the energetics team has worked on this year. The first of which is a new battery management system. This project started out in the spring of last year, and I'm super happy to say that we fully integrated this into our car this year. This new system enables us to collect more information about our batteries at a much higher frequency. The next major project that we took on this year was the entire repackage of our low voltage systems. This year we've been able to design the smallest low voltage system the team has ever put forth, and this has led to a total mass decrease of over 30% of our low voltage systems and enabled us to package it with less than 50% of space of previous iterations. Then, another project we worked on is our hardware in the lead platform. This year, with the amount of technical challenges we've taken on, we also knew that the amount of time we would have to iron out all of our bugs would be pretty minimal. And so we had to find a way to ensure that everything worked individually and make sure that everything worked individually. And so for that, we created this test platform that enables us to test all the functionalities of our electrical systems. Then, our next main goal was to expand the data acquisition system on our car. And what that meant for this year is we've kitted out our car with an extensive array of sensors, such as load cells and strain gauges to understand the forces through our suspension, pitot tubes to understand our aerodynamics package, and temperature sensors to understand how well our car is being cooled. And finally, the kind of cornerstone of all of this is our vehicle controls algorithms. Our race car is an all-wheel drive race car, and to ensure that we get the most performance out of it, we implement features such as traction control, launch control, and torque vector. This year, we've completely re-architected the way that we implement these.
Thank you, everyone. Could we get another massive round of applause for all the engineering that has gone into 22A? I would now like to invite up Ankit, our VP of Driverless, to talk through 22A, our most advanced autonomous car ever.
Hi, everyone. So, Driverless is one of the most unique departments on CMR, because we aren't just pushing the boundaries of autonomous technology, but we are also pioneering driverless here in America. As one of the first US teams to pursue Formula Student Driverless, we make yearly improvements, or yearly innovations, in hopes of inspiring other teams throughout the country to pursue their own driverless divisions. Collectively, we can push the bounds of autonomous vehicles further than anything we can imagine currently. Our driverless journey began last year when we unveiled 19A, our very first autonomous car. After a long year of reading research papers, talking to CMU faculty, and a long period of integration hell that really lived up to the name. We completed the very first autonomous lap at an American FSAE event. This was a crowning achievement for our entire team, but we knew there was a lot of room for improvement. Therefore, over the summer, we spent quite a bit of time laying out a series of technical goals that would guide the development of our next generation race car. Our first goal is to hit a top speed of 25 miles per hour on track, as this would be a significant performance improvement over our previous generation car. For our second goal, we wanted to emphasize the development of a robust vehicle that could sustain a long testing campaign. As such, we aim to complete 100 driverless laps before our driverless exhibition at Formula Hybrid Plus Electric in a few weeks' time. For our last goal, as we aim to pioneer a driverless competition here in America, we recognize the need to develop a safe car that allows us to test out the tech. As such, we aim to be fully rules compliant with the premier driverless competition in the world, Formula Student Germany. These are the people that made this project possible. Our driverless captains are responsible for the, following these technical guidelines, we developed the most advanced autonomous car that CMR has unveiled to date, which has represented a full redesign of mechanical, electrical, and software systems. These are the people that made this project possible. Our driverless captains are responsible for the development of all software systems that go on board the vehicle, and they work with members throughout the team in order to design, implement, and test all the software that goes on board the vehicle. Our technical innovations this year would not be possible without their contributions. With that, I'd like to get into the major advancements that we've made on this year's race car, starting with our perception system, which allows the car to see the track in front of it. This year, we made the ambitious decision to add a completely new sensor to our existing suite, called the solid-state LiDAR. Giving us approximately 3 million points per second, we can create a high-resolution map of the environment in front of us. In addition, we made major improvements to our stereo vision software by upgrading to a brand new computer vision software called YOLO V8. Moving on, our path planning team is responsible for generating the paths that the car will be following. This year, they decided to take a machine learning approach in order to generate center line trajectories. However, the crowning achievement of our path planning software is the implementation of a state-of-the-art localization and mapping algorithm called ISAM2, which is actively being developed here at CMU by Professor Michael Case. This algorithm allows the car to memorize the track as it's going through it, enabling it to go faster every single lap. Our controls team also took on a huge, ambitious challenge this year as they aim to redesign their entire codebase around a brand new controls algorithm called Model Predictive Control. The idea is to randomly sample millions of control actions that the vehicle could take and simulate in real time what the car will do in order to choose the best one. Our success in developing this means that we now have one of the most advanced controllers in the entire world. Finally, our software architecture team is responsible for developing tools that make it easier to debug our car. This year, they did this by integrating a driverless visualization into an existing CMR tool called DACLive, which allows us to monitor car metrics such as battery life and car speed, as well as visualize all aspects of our driverless software in real time. Finally, 22A also represents a complete mechanical redesign from its predecessor, including a brand new steering system that can fully turn the wheels in under a second, a pneumatic system that can provide quick braking response, and a custom enclosure for the computer that powers this vehicle. As you can see, 22A is filled with many technical risks, but it's the culmination of all of these that have enabled us to develop our most advanced autonomous car yet and has laid the foundation upon which Driverless will continue to build for years to come. I am extremely proud of the work that has gone into making this car a reality, and I know that the entire team is looking forward to seeing it perform 10 laps at the Driverless exhibition event at Formula Hybrid plus Electric in the coming weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Ankit. Can we get another massive round of applause for this groundbreaking project? Thank you. As you can see, a lot of work goes into a year of CMR. So I'd like to take the opportunity now to acknowledge those who have been on this journey throughout their college careers. So could I please ask the graduating class of 2024 to please step forward. These students have dedicated their lives towards this team. So thank you all for joining us here today. We are so proud to present what we have presented to you, and everyone up the front here would be more than happy to discuss it with you if you'd like to come down the front afterwards. We would also like to invite you for some light snacks and refreshments out in the brown chairs area once we conclude. So once again, thank you very much for coming. Enjoy the rest of your carnival, and we hope to see you again next year.